press within 30 minutes. And I'm very happy that most of the major media houses are here. And today I thought it is important to just unveil the new executive team that will support our agenda for the next 2 years. I was here 2 years ago, unveiling the first executive team that has assisted me for the last 2 years to carry out our agenda, our 6-point agenda. And because the term of the executive members is coming to an end, I know you've had a lot of anxiety from last week, lakini kaona leo, let me unveil the new team. But before I do that, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the men and women who have served in my cabinet for the last 2 years as executive. They have done an exemplary job. Na vile mnajua Kakamega is very big. We have a population of almost 2 million people. So we have many other Kenyans who can serve in those dockets. So what I'm unveiling today will just be a team that will help me. But that one does not mean that if your name does not feature in the lists of today, that you don't have an opportunity to serve in the accounting different opportunities. So I want to appreciate in a big way the chief officers, the CECs, advisors, ambao wamenisaidia kazi for the last 2 years, and for those who are lucky to have an opportunity to continue serving in their respective dockets. I want you to take it as a challenge, and then of course you double your efforts. We owe this to the people of Kakamega, because for me to succeed, we need to have a team that is agile, a team that is responsive, a team that is ready to run and even work 24/7. We need people who are self-driven, people who are responsible to deliver on their mandate. And for those ones that I'll be unveiling today, it does not mean that now you have gotten our tickets to go and sleep. There's a lot of expectations from people on what we are supposed to achieve, and we can only but demand the very best from you. You need to exceed expectations from the people. So without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, in order to improve service delivery and achieve our transformation agenda for the people of Kakamega, I hereby wish to communicate the following executive changes in my team. The first is the Ministry of Trade and Industrialization. The acting CEC in that ministry will be Honorable Ayub Savula, who is currently the Deputy Governor. So Savula will be acting as the CEC for Trade, Industrialization and Tourism. The chief officers will be Chief Officer for Trade will be Faith Gitira, and Chief Officer for Industrialization and Tourism, Saxon Kweyu. That does for the Ministry of Trade, Industrialization and Tourism. In the Office of the Governor, the County Secretary and Head of Public Service is Dr. Lawrence Omhaka, and the following are the respective chief officers. Deputy County Secretary is CPA Samson Otieno. Chief Officer, Service Delivery, Dr. Vitalis Masahwe. Chief Officer, Resource Mobilization, Dr. George Barak Otieno. Chief of Staff, Kennedy Echesa Lubengu. Advisors, Advisor Strategy and Governance, Alfred Saidi Hasavoli. Political Advisor, Kasim Were. Gender Advisor, Christine Kimungui Oside. Youth Advisor, Emmanuel Makoha. Ministry of Finance, Planning, ICT, e-government, and communication. The acting CEC will be Dr. Lawrence Omhaka. Chief Officer for Finance and Budget, Dr. June Mwajuma. Acting Chief Officer, ICT, Dr. June Mwajuma. Acting Chief Officer, E-Government and Communication, Dr. Vitalis Masahwe. Acting Chief Officer, Economic Planning, CPA Samson Otieno. Number 4, the Ministry of Roads, Energy and Public Works. The CEC is Architect Patrick Kundu. The Acting Chief Officer for Roads and Energy, Engineer Joseph Sweta. Chief Officer, Public Works, Pascal Were. Number 5, the Minister of Lands, Housing, Urban Areas, and Physical Planning. The acting CEC is Architect Patrick Kundu. Chief Officer, Urban Development and Housing, Shakir Adan. Acting Chief Officer, Lands, Survey and Physical Planning, Shakir Adan. So that ministry, you have an acting CEC, that is Kundu, and acting Chief Officer for Land, Survey and Physical Planning is Shakir, and substantive Chief Officer for Urban Development, of course, is Shakir Adan. Number 5, the Ministry of Public Service and County Administration. The substantive CEC is Dr. Boniface Okoth. The Chief Officer for Public Service is Prisco Tipa, and Chief Officer for Administration, Doreen Amwoka. Number 7, Education, Science and Technology. The acting CEC is Dr. Boniface Okoth. the Acting Chief Officer for Education, Science and Technology, Mariam Were. So that ministry has an acting CEC and an acting Chief Officer. Number 8, the Ministry of Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change. The substantive CEC is Penina Mkabane. Substantive Chief Officer for Water, Mariam Were. Substantive Chief Officer for Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change is Bill Slingi. Number 9, the Ministry of Health Services. The acting CEC is Penina Mkabane. Chief Officer, Medical Services, David Alila. Acting Chief Officer, Public Health, Rose Muhanda. Number 10, the Ministry of Social Services, Culture, Gender, Youth, Sports and Liberal Services. The substantive CEC is Moffat Mandela. The acting Chief Officer for Social Services, Culture and Gender is Dorina Mwoga. The acting Chief Officer, Youth, Sports and Liberal Services is Saxon Kweyu. The last one is the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives. The acting CEC is Moffat Mandela. Substantive Chief Officer for Agriculture is Emmanuel Kariuki. Substantive Chief Officer for Livestock and Fisheries is Jessica Wekwe Songa. And the acting Chief Officer for Cooperatives is Bill Slim. I would like to request the staff to accord the officers that I've mentioned their support and cooperation. As I said, this is phase 1 of my cabinet and executive. Next year, I'll also invite you for another session so that we can have a complete cabinet, especially for those positions where we have acting CECs and acting chief officers. Kwa hiyo machache, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you.